Hello everyone, welcome to Super Coaching UPSC by Textbook. You know me now. This is Venkatesh, your faculty for geography. So, to make geography simplified for all of you, I'm coming up with this new initiative where I'll be discussing all the current affairs events associated with geography every week. So, I'm coming up with a series of initiatives where I'll be discussing some of the factual topics, static topics, some of the static topics, some of the current affairs, as well as also to help you to help you completely in your preparation. I'm also coming up with previous year questions. So do watch this channel regularly, where I would be coming up with all these things. So friends, without any wastage of time, yes, Manpreet Kaur, good evening, good afternoon. How are you doing? How are you doing? I hope is the audio and video clear to you. Audio and video, I hope this is clear to you. Right. So if you see as we all are celebrating the new year, I hope the new year celebrations are completed now. Unfortunately, exactly at the time of celebrations of new year, Japan has faced an earthquake which has also triggered some kind of worries about tsunami. If you are active in the social medias, there were so many uh, videos which were showcasing around different kinds of impacts of the earthquakes as tsunamis. Very difficult to observe such kind of things, isn't it? So as we all are celebrating the new year, unfortunately at the same time Japanese has seen this earthquake. Now let us discuss about that Japanese earthquake as such. If you see this Japanese earthquakes, there were a series of powerful earthquakes which got reported in the Sea of Japan here. This is the earthquake, and this has triggered a magnitude of around 7.6. You can see on January 1st, it has triggered an earthquake with an intensity magnitude of 7.5. US, according to US, it is 7.5. According to Japan, it is 7.6. But don't worry about the magnitude here, but magnitude you can see it, the shake intensity and all. This magnitude is as per which scale? They can ask you this kind of concepts, right? Okay, we are not here preparing to want any kind of a reel for larger views. You have to get this concepts ready from these kind of topics. So magnitude is prepared from which scale? Richter scale. Richter scale. So you can see here, as part of the Sea of Japan in the East China Sea, there was an earthquake which got reported, and this was based on this earthquake. You have seen that they have issued tsunami. Tsunami warnings were issued. Tsunami warnings were issued, wherein you have seen a variety of warnings across this, a variety of different levels of warnings across the coast of Japan, right? So now if you see it here in this part of the world, you can clearly see that this is very much worried tsunami. You can see here the purple color, it is talking about the high warning centers, major tsunami warnings were issued, and the red color talks about it talks about a medium level of things, tsunami warning, and slowly there were some cautiousness in terms of tsunami advisory and forecast. Slight sea level changes in the blue color. That means the more you are nearer to the coast, that is the obvious time where you might have more amount of tsunamis, isn't it? So we'll try to understand about these kind of things. So this is the region of called Nota. Uh, okay, this is the region of Noto, sorry, not Nota. Noto province, Noto region, not a province, Noto region of the Japan. By the way, I'm asking you a query. What are the major islands of Japan? Try to understand about this. So in this Noto region, there was an earthquake. This was also has triggered, or warnings about tsunami were issued. Of course, now the warnings of tsunami have been stopped because it's been already 2 days. Now, if you see this tsunami, what is a tsunami wave work? What is a tsunami wave? How does it work? How does it work? Let us try to understand. What do you mean by tsunami? Anyone? Tsunami is nothing but, anyone who is watching it can live, can you comment it? Tsunami is nothing but, it is called as typically as a harbor wave. Harbor wave. It is nothing but long-standing waves which are reported, long-standing waves which are reported from, say, from the earthquakes and all. When there is an earthquake or any other event in the ocean, the large scale movement of seawater, large scale movement of seawater vertically, vertical movement of water, and then towards the shore, and then towards the shore. For example, you can see this picture. Imagine initially there is some kind of a say there is some kind of an earthquake here in the seabed. There is an earthquake. That earthquake has, you see what happens with the sea whenever there is an earthquake. Imagine that you see something like this. You have the seabed both together. As part of the seabed, this got because of an earthquake, this got fallen down. There is subsidence because of the crustal movement here. What happens? Imagine above this there is water, no, here. So imagine this is the crustal block. There is displacement of the crustal blocks. Because of the displacement, what will happen? As soon as there is a displacement, the water shakes. You take a simple example. Take a glass of water and pour it onto a small plate. Now you shake the plate. What will happen? The water will come down. That is tsunami. So nothing but, so in that way, tsunami waves will be, the wave of the water will be moving. As the water moves, the energy moves and all. As it comes, you know, when a tsunami was got reported in the open sea, you know, the ships will not be knowing it. Why? Very simple. The ships can easily travel on it because they will not be. The moment that water comes very close to the ocean, very close to the coastal region, that is when the wavelength and the wave height will increase and the wavelength will decrease. You can see here the distance between two consecutive crusts and a trough. Please observe this diagram very carefully. See, if there is a wave which is moving like this, right? Imagine this is the water. Okay, water. Okay, let me show you here. Imagine this is the wave, right? Then imagine this is the water level. Now, as you are on the coast, as you are in the open sea, the crustal trough will be like this. But as you come to the coastal region, the wave will become like this. So the height would increase, distance would be narrowed. So as soon as you come very nearer to the ocean, very nearer to the coastal region, you can see here clearly the height will increase, and this height can cause destruction on the sea wave. That's why tsunami itself, Japanese word called harbor wave, hitting the coastal regions, hitting the ports, the harbors, which can cause disastrous impact on it. That's why they call it as a harbor wave. So what is the simple thing? There can be various reasons because of which the seabed can be disrupted. As soon as the seabed is disrupted, there is a movement of the oceanic water. This water can cause destruction on the coastal regions. That's it, right? The propagation of the wave, the cause, and the impact. Simple thing. The cause may be an earthquake, propagation of the wave, which will increase when you come to the shallow regions, and then the impact. So the causes of a tsunami can be multiple. What do you think that tsunami can be caused? Tsunami can be caused by multiple reasons. One such cause can be earthquakes. Another such cause can be volcanoes. Another such cause can be, anyone? Which can you name another such cause? Another such cause can be, say, something like a, you know, meteorite impact. Imagine there is a meteorite which got, imagine there is a meteorite which fell onto the ocean. That can also disrupt the water, right? There can be some, say for example, something like landslides on the seabed, that can be there. Nuclear bomb, or any kind of, I would say that, underwater explosions. Underwater explosions. All these things can cause a tsunami. What is nothing but seabed has to be disrupted so that water travels. That is the concept. Beyond that, there is nothing much to explain. Do you have any kind of explanation? Let me see the doubts here. Right. Now, if you see it, why do you think that Japan is prone to more earthquakes and tsunamis? What is the reason for that? Why do you think that Japan is prone to more earthquakes and tsunamis? So one such reason I would try to tell you that the Japan, you can see the location of Japan here. It is part of the many kind of plate boundaries. It is part of many plate boundaries. The Japanese region is part of the plate boundaries. As per the plate tectonics theory, we have seen that the reason why Japan is facing more earthquakes is more earthquakes which can trigger volcanoes, which can trigger tsunamis. In fact, I would say that this region, the earthquakes, volcanoes and tsunami, they are a cause and effect of each other. Say an earthquake can cause a tsunami, a volcano can cause a tsunami, a volcano can cause an earthquake can cause a volcano. Maybe not tsunami. Tsunami is not the cause of these two, but definitely earthquakes and volcanoes are cause and effect of each other. Whatever the reason, impact is tsunami. I think it is very, my joke would be a bit not, it will not be ideal, but it is almost like a summer offer, Christmas offer, where buy one get two free. That is somehow, unfortunately, Japan is having such kind of impact in terms of disasters, where an earthquake can trigger a volcano and that volcano can lead to a tsunami. In fact, there were many such instances where Japanese have seen such kind of earthquakes and volcanoes, and even around 2011, in the year of 2011, there was an earthquake in Japan, near Japan in the ocean, with a magnitude of almost 9.0 on the Richter scale, which led to a tsunami as well. And that tsunami has hit a nuclear plant, called as Fukushima nuclear disaster. Fukushima, Fukushima, Fukushima nuclear disaster, and because this was regarded as one of the worst nuclear impact after the 1986 Chernobyl disaster. Now look at the process: earthquake, tsunami, nuclear attack, and impact. That is the kind of vulnerabilities Japan is facing. In fact, the Fukushima disaster is regarded as an event before and after in the history of nuclear electricity, nuclear story of the world in terms of electricity generation, because after that many countries across the world have decided not to explore the opportunity of nuclear technology. We will look for alternatives. Such is the state of affairs in terms of managing our own electricity, right? So I hope you are able to follow. So why Japan faces more amount of earthquakes? It is simple. It is part of the Pacific Ring of Fire, a horseshoe shaped ring of fire, where you know that this is the region of more volcanoes, more earthquakes which would be reported. In fact, if you see this picture, look at the extent of earthquakes. You see here the number is quite heavy here, isn't it? So Japan faces earthquakes because of its more amount of availability of plate boundaries. By the way, what kind of plate it is? What kind of plate it is? Japan? It is part of the converging plate boundary. Part of the converging plate boundary. By the way, what do converging plate boundaries are part of? Converging plate boundaries are part of, you can say, deep focus earthquakes. They will have an impact on deep focus earthquakes. They will have an impact on, because of these tsunamis. You can also lead, that is because of volcano eruptions. And the other things like trenches and even island arcs. So you'll see that, my dear friends, that you'll find deep focus earthquakes. You'll find more earthquakes here. You see here, when two plates come towards each other, one of the plate goes beneath the other. As one of the plate goes beneath the other, this is what we call it as subduction. Because of this subduction, you will find that the subducted plate will be melting, and this melting will lead to a volcanic eruption, which is leading to a volcano. If this volcano happens to be occurring exactly in the ocean, as you can see here, this is the ocean, you will find that that can trigger a earthquake, volcanic island arc, and that can lead to even a tsunami. In fact, the word Pacific Ring of Fire constitutes of many kinds of oceans, be it the Indonesian region, be it the Philippines, Japanese region, be it the South American region, be it the North American region. In fact, it constitutes about all of them, right? So that is the thing. So you need to understand the issues associated with it here, right? So these are the kind of things you have. So Japan is very much prone to earthquakes. Not just that. Moving forward. So now that you have understood this, now what are the focus areas you need to worry about? So apart from this, another kind of topic where UPSC can ask about is disaster management lessons. Disaster management lessons. In fact, I would be discussing today in the master class at 6 p.m. in the textbook app, where I would be discussing about how Japan is driving tech-driven disaster management. I would be discussing such kind of things in earthquake mitigation. I'll be discussing this kind of things in the Telegram channel, in the textbook app, as a free masterclass for all of you, where I'll be discussing questions on that as well. In fact, I'm very much fascinated by the management of disasters in Japan, where I was fascinated by this quote where they said, an earthquake won't kill people. An earthquake won't kill people, but buildings do. Comment. Earthquakes won't kill people, but buildings do. That is the nature of disaster management in Japan. So they are trying to increase their levels to that extent, isn't it? So I'll be discussing about these kind of things in the app. Please join my Telegram channel, wherein which you can get the link for the free master class in the textbook app. Not just that, there is another topic, by the way, where it is very much covered in the recently, as I have seen the newspapers, there is a talk about lithium, where India is closing on a lithium deal with Argentina, tapping Australia and Chile too. So as part of the Hindu newspaper recently, current affairs. you have seen that India is closing on a lithium deal with Argentina, tapping Australia and Chile. Now, what are the reasons for these kind of things? Right? What is the reason for this? If you see that we are trying to have a lithium deal, so the key question which is here, these countries, Argentina, Australia, Chile, if you see the countries which are having this lithium, you know why lithium is very much important in the present era of electric vehicles, in the present era of focus on so much amount of, things like EV segments and all, there is enormous focus on lithium reserves. So the countries which are having lithium reserves, if you see, this is the countries supplying the electric vehicles EV lithium rush. This is a production. Remember, this is production, not reserves. If you see the production, Australia is leading in terms of production. So this is for 1 year, say 2021, where Australia, Chile, China, Argentina are leading, followed by other countries like Brazil, Zimbabwe, Portugal. The key question for us is the reserves. Where do you find the reserves? If you see this reserves, you see this is the reserves. You see, Chile is far most important country in terms of reserves. Chile. Then we have, after Chile only, we have Australia in terms of reserves, not in terms of production. And then we have Argentina. Right? These three are the most important countries in terms of lithium reserves, right? Not just that. Then the thing which I need to asking you a question is, see here, this is the production, this is the reserves, more availability but more utility. So potential is reserves converted into usage by production. Even India has around some kind of lithium reserves. We'll discuss about that. Then there will be some kind of questions asked on lithium. What are the ores of lithium? Ores of lithium. Ores of lithium. And how MCQs can be placed on this? MCQs can be prepared on the topic of lithium. I will discuss all such kind of things in the textbook app. This is just an introduction of how to approach the current affairs. And on these things, what kind of questions can be framed and all, I'll be discussing in the free sessions on current affairs in the YouTube channel, as well as some MCQ practice in the textbook app. So you can just simply scan my QR code. You can get into my Telegram channel where it can be written as Venkatesh Geographical Voyage, where any discussions, doubts, direct interaction, all the things would be available, and this PDF file would also be provided to you, right? So until we meet next time, I wish you a happy learnings and do subscribe to the channel. Thank you.